Shalom, friends. It's almost Shabbat where I am, and I'm gonna do a live card reading for you guys this week. I decided before Shabbat comes in, and so here I have the prototype deck, and they're with my editor right now. So this is just the prototype that I have here. And I'm working on setting up a nicer spot so I can film and you can see what I'm doing. I didn't quite get it done today, and now I'm getting ready for Shabbat. So yeah, I just thought this would be a fun way to do it today. So if you don't know, this card deck is the card deck that I created really by accident when I was still living in my tiny home in Oregon. And I'm just shuffling them. I'll try to do it so you can see. I lived, in the forest for about 3 years. Much of that time alone with my dog in the forest. And towards the end of it, after lots and lots of meditation and days walking and praying in the forest, I sat down to do something completely unrelated to this. And this is what came through. And of course, I had studied Kabbalah with various different teachers over time, including in Tzfat at the Institute of Jewish Medicine. So this is what happened. This is what we have. There's also a book that goes with it. I'm just laying out the spread here. I'll show you. Let's see, I have this little ottoman, and the back of the cards doesn't have a design on it yet. That's how early days this is. So the intention with this card, these cards, by the way, because in Judaism, side note, I've really, really been feeling in my heart this idea that Judaism precedes the concept of religion as we know it. So even though in diaspora, Judaism has forged itself into, there is the religion. It's also more than a religion, and it's prior to religion, and it's beyond religion. And, we all practice it differently, but ultimately, what I know as Judaism, how I relate to it, is the life way of an indigenous people that facilitates connection between self, other, God, and the land. And then this, over time and in different diaspora settings, tempers itself into versions of the religion. So now we have I have this card deck, and I'm going to draw for you. And in the practice of Judaism, we don't do divination per se. And the reason is, although there is Jewish astrology, right? But the reason for not doing divination is because we really believe that we are empowering ourselves, that by our choices in this world of action, that we can affect what is going to come, that we can change our mazel, change our luck, change what will be in our experience. And so for that reason, when I draw these cards, it's not so much as divination or as future telling or anything like that, but rather for contemplation and introspection. So let me just see, did I say everything I wanted to say about the Judaism piece? Yes, I think I did for now, and we'll get into it. And I really love your comments and your shares and how you guys relate. I love your questions. I love if you have suggestions for topics. For now, though, we'll just do a collective draw for us in this group in particular. And I'm going to pull a card here. Going into Shabbat. Okay, so I will show you. This is the card. And it's a little hard to read in the screen, but it says Asiya. And so this is a world card. This is the world of Asiya, the world of action. Asiya is the fourth world. It's this tangible physical world. It's the embodiment. It's the world where Shekhinah dwells, where the divine presence dwells, although hidden behind the veil of creation. So what I'm feeling from this card today, of course there is the book, but I'm not going to read from the book. I'm just going to share what comes through for this, for me, for you, for us today. Is this world of Asiya, is as we go into Shabbat, or through the rest of the weekend, this week, to really hone our presence, to look for Shekhinah, to look for divine presence, to look for divinity behind the veil, to look for proof of it in the mundane things. And it's easy if we look up to the sky to start. I'm looking out the window now and look at the clouds. It's a little bit more obvious. Or we look at the tree branches. Maybe where you are there's buds. Maybe where you are there's not buds yet. But you look at the plant life, and it becomes, it's a little more obvious. And then even in the places where it's less obvious, I challenge us to find the glimmer. And if there's places where we feel like, wow, this feels dense, this feels dark, this feels actually like there's a husk, which is a Kabbalistic principle of like places where there's a shell that's blocking the divine light from coming through, and it just kind of feels like, ooh, this is depletion, this is darkness. In those places, we have the challenge, if it's like a safe situation, to go there and to share love in that space, or perhaps say a blessing, a bracha, if you're into that kind of thing, or perhaps to just share gratitude from your heart if you're into that kind of thing, to elevate that space, or simply to just share love at a distance and send light at a distance if that feels more appropriate. But this is an activity that I will challenge myself and all of us this week. I know for me, really these past few months have been a complete whirlwind. My entire life changed on October 7th, and perhaps we'll get into sharing more about that as we get to know each other more. But this reminds me to also look for, I'm still here in Asiya, I'm still here in the world. How can I in each moment be elevating? Because in this Kabbalistic Judaism, the idea is that we are here in this denser plane to lift it up. And that's what we're doing. And to ultimately, merge the more elevated plane and the denser plane into this place of unity. However, they were unity before any of this individuation happened. So why the whole thing is because then we get to actually experience the unity while also getting to be Shifra, be you, and actually feel and experience in a way that, before creation, the oneness was just a pot of complete non-individuation. And so this is the gift that ultimately we get to receive. So I pray for that for us as we go into Shabbat. And for me, Shabbat, I really try to make it a ceremony, make it a ritual, make it intentional as I can. Kind of depending where I am and who I'm with, it might look different. But I do feel with that intention, I do feel the settling of the Shekhinah. They say, that the divine feminine presence comes in a little bit more. They say you get a second soul on Shabbat, and if you're receptive to it, I think you can really feel that. And so to bring that into this world, the world of action. And that kind of brings me full circle to how I introduced the card reading today, which was to say that we get to we have the opportunity to change our destiny, to change our mazel through the actions that we take. So as we make choices, whether they're big ones or little ones, we have the opportunity to really breathe and center and reach out to people if we need support with that. This group is a place. There's a chat function somewhere in here. I offer sessions individually, privately, as well, which you can always send me a message about. So however we reach it, by ourselves, with support, outside, inside, meditating, running, however it is that we get to come to center and continue moving forward. I know for me, and it's been a lot these past few months, my kind of trigger response can be to freeze. And, some of it's fight, some of it's flight, some of it's freeze. It's probably a mix of all of them, if I'm being honest. But I feel that. And so I remind myself as well to continue to take action, even if it's baby steps. We're still here. We're still alive and living and breathing. And I just want to send a blessing to each of you and to all of Am Yisrael and to really the whole world that the divine feminine quality can settle. I see it like just a blanket of fresh powder snow. When you walk outside and it's just like, wow, it's so still and so silent and so peaceful. And I pray that just like fresh snow, that peace can fall upon the earth, and it happens through our actions. So go share the love, my friends. Shabbat shalom. Mwah.